Welcome to Ideas to Implementation, the podcast for women who have a business idea but feel stuck in a job. Featuring real women with real stories of how they went from employee to boss. My guest today is business owner and entrepreneur Lauren Valler. Hi Lauren, how are you?
Hi, really good considering the circumstances. How are you?
Of course, no, I'm fine, thank you. It's the importance is just staying productive, isn't it? And just keep staying positive as well. So thank you for your time today.
You're welcome.
So tell me a little bit about yourself. Tell us about your business. What do you do?
So I'm probably 4 years into entrepreneurship. The business has grown and developed in different ways throughout the journey, and have recently just taken a big leap of faith in kind of setting up an additional business, which has been kind of where my focus has been in the last couple of months. It's definitely been a journey.
Okay.
The original business has been recruitment.
Okay.
So focusing on kind of marketing, digital, and then more recently kind of followed my heart's desires and kind of stepped into personal and spiritual development. So kind of that's where I'm up to at the moment, but it's definitely been kind of highs and lows.
Oh, brilliant. So tell me a little bit more about the new business. So spiritual development, what does that look like?
Yeah, so very different to recruitment.
Yeah.
I think I was just trained in that. That was my skill. I had a career in it, and I kind of reached the top of the 360, and I naturally built a business in what I knew. But my heart and my passion has always been about kind of personal growth, development, spiritual growth. So I took a bit of a risk, to be honest, and followed that heart's desire. It probably took something like coronavirus to kind of give me the nudge to do it. It's very much about kind of, they're called Vbooks. So what they are is kind of, think about an ebook but with video content, music, kind of taking the reader on a personal inward journey. So I've tried to be quite creative in how I've done that, and so far we launched yesterday and have 75 people that I prayed for last night, so fingers crossed, we'll see.
Awesome.
So, because you do something similar with coaching, don't you? And that's kind of your business, and I guess it's quite fulfilling, isn't it?
Oh, it definitely is, because it's working with people, seeing people sort of go from where they are and seeing the development. It's really rewarding. So that's brilliant, and well done for you launched. Did you say launched yesterday?
Yesterday.
And 75 really, brilliant.
Yeah.
Well done.
Thank
So
you.
what were you doing before you started your business, like the recruitment business? What sort of job were you doing beforehand?
Yeah, so ever since I was literally a babby, I've had that graft, when you've just been a grafter.
Yeah.
So I started off with my nana and granddad. They owned an arcade. So I'd spend my weekends going down there, working in the cafe and doing my bit. And then I got a job in retail, grafted in retail. And then I kind of fell into recruitment. Okay. So I actually went to an event and the partner was there and just said, look, would you like to join us? So I grew my career within that speciality. Yeah. Then I left the field for a little bit and went into corporate sales. So the Rico Arena and Wasps. Took 6 months out and then took the leap to start a business. So that's kind of where my journey is, really.
And what was it that sort of made you make the leap and gave you the confidence to do so? Because it's not easy, is it?
No, absolutely not. No, it's almost the first part of thinking, I'm going all in and I'm going for it. It wasn't a thought out plan for me. It was a risk. It was, some people call it intuition. Some people call it gut feeling. For me, I call it God. And I remember the revelation that I had, and I was sat in the office and I was looking out of the office window and something within me was stirring. And I was like, what is this? Like, I have to listen to this. And then I just thought, right, let's just do it. Quit the job. Just got the mortgage, and I literally prayed and prayed and prayed, and just thank God that he kind of stepped in.
Wow. So it was really a God move then. And so obviously you prayed it, etc. But what sort of support did you have as well? Because you would have needed some sort of support as well.
Yeah, so I call this kind of divine connections. I feel like people come into your life at the right time. That's what I believe. And I was very lucky enough to know, because so my skill is not finance, it's not numbers or anything to do with the actual structure of a business. I was just kind of leader, inspiration, could do sales, marketing, but the finance stuff, HMRC and all of that. And I was lucky enough to have met somebody at WASP who is still part of the business now. And he kind of supported me on all of that area of the business since day one. And then it was kind of making it up as you go along, to be honest. I started in a coffee shop and I was like, right, I've got to try and do this. I remember making my first sales call and thinking, oh my God, I'm literally in my bedroom. And that's how it started. So
yeah. And business is about risk, isn't it? Like there's always, and it doesn't stop. There's always risk that you've got to take, and you've definitely started with it. So that's good. And what would you say has been your biggest challenge in your business?
Maybe sometimes self-belief, and I guess there's a term for it, imposter syndrome, isn't there?
Yeah.
I think you sometimes, especially at the start, you grow in this business and you just think, oh, I'm not like, you just have those nerves and those doubts. And then especially when you take on hires and these people are like looking to you and you don't even have the answers and you're trying to grow a business and then lead people, you do have wobbles. And I had a big one actually, and had like a mini breakdown because it just got too much pressure. So I think kind of organic and natural growth worked better for me, but it all depends on the person and the entrepreneur.
Okay. And would you say, firstly, there's two parts question I've got here. So how did you sort of deal with that challenge, the imposter syndrome, which, we all get, and it's not like you just get over it, it creeps in every now and again. How do you deal with that?
So I'd joined an accelerator hub. So it would be wise if you are starting off in a business, having that support system, it does help you. So I had access to mentors and a coach and stuff that did genuinely help. So they kind of talked me through that. But for me, I'm quite brave in saying that I do have a faith. And I think if I didn't have that, I would have really struggled in business because I took it to prayer. And I used to take it to God and say, help me through this. And it was his strength that did support me through some difficult times.
Wow. And so I said that I had a two-part question. So I guess the second part was, do you think that's sort of you going through that and you sort of having your challenges, overcoming them, is that sort of what led you as well into the now personal, spiritual development side? Is that
probably, yeah. A wise question, because a lot of the stuff that I've probably gone through, I do refer back to that and say, well, this is how I overcame that. So yeah, it probably did actually, yeah.
Yeah, because I say that because obviously, like you say, I do coaching and development, and there's nothing like practical examples and saying, and people want that sort of authenticity where you can say, I've been through this and this is how I overcame. And so I can definitely see how you would use that. So so that's the biggest challenge. What's been the greatest achievement? You've obviously done very well and you're starting another business. What's been the greatest achievement so far?
It's really cheesy. I don't even have to think about it. It's when I employed my mom.
Wow.
And now she's in a position where she's got her own home office. She gets to work from home. She's recently gone self-employed, and being able to have my business as the vessel that can bless and provide for my mom was probably the biggest achievement. And it's different, but it is. So, and that's what's been difficult about following my heart's desires, because I had a sustainable business that was profitable, that was supporting a family member, but my heart wasn't always in it. So it was really difficult actually
Yeah, no, I can see that. So have you officially left your recruitment business, sold it, or you will be working in both?
I actually, this is so funny. Okay. I drew this out earlier. So this is the group business, and I drew it out as, okay, so this is what the recruitment business will look like, and this is what Vbook. And I've got a meeting tomorrow of a lady that I'm quite fond of, that's very leader, quite like could drive that side of the business quite well. So we shall see. It's in God's hands, but I think it will still be there. At the minute, there's recruitment freezes because of the situation we're in, but it's definitely something that could be kind of pushed forward after this season. It's just whether I will be the one leading that.
Yeah, I can see. And both businesses are very people orientated, obviously. And I take it you're a people person.
Yeah, definitely.
How how important would you say sort of your natural skills or inclinations come into running a business? So your personality type sort of thing.
Yeah, I think especially when you start off as like a solo entrepreneur, which there are many of them around, you are your business really, aren't you? And you start off as you are your brand.
Yeah.
And people trust you, they buy from you, and you kind of, that's how I think any business really starts off. And even the best brands that are around, it's kind of the business owner that people kind of look up to or follow what they're up to.
Yeah.
So I just try and kind of have positivity. I'm fun loving. I like to kind of invest in other people and to encourage them. And I feel like bringing any kind of traits that you have into your business, you know, it will naturally flow through.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, no, and that's important, isn't it? Because it almost develops the culture of your business, like you say, so that anyone that comes in, you know, if you employ some people, etc., they get that straight away, and you sort of know who will fit in with the business and who won't.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. Culture is massive. And especially with recruitment, we started to hire based on culture, because I think it is the people that build a business and drive it forward. So
yeah, no, definitely. And how have you found marketing your business? Because obviously it's very different. I would say you're in a job, you have clients, you have people you work with because they come through the business. But how have you found marketing and getting your name out there?
Yeah. For me, I guess when I first started, it was kind of sales led. Right. So I would literally pick up the phone from a cold call and just pray and try. And then after a while, maybe the first year, you start to build a reputation. So you get repeat business, and then you can start marketing. Because when you start a business, you have limited budget. Like, you know what I mean? You have to just use every resource that you can. You have to get on social media. You have to go to the networking events, and you have to graft at the start of a business. Yeah. But then I think after that, then you start getting the retention, the loyalty, and then that's when you start building a sustainable business.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, that might sound scary to some people, you know, who think, oh, get a cold calls, etc.
Yeah, but I know.
It is getting used to putting yourself out there, isn't it, really?
Yeah. It's not for everyone. It could, you know, something else. That's just what worked for my business, and that's why it's everybody's entrepreneur's personal journey, because that a cold call for someone, like for me now, I actually hate them. But I had to start off like that. But you know, there's LinkedIn. There's so many tools nowadays. You know.
Yeah. And that's what's going to go on to that. Obviously, you're in recruitment, so I think you'll be great advice here. But somebody listening or watching and wants to start a business at the moment, we're in the middle of COVID-19, the coronavirus. We're indoors, we can't go out to networking events. How can you network and build your profile just using your laptop? How important is that?
You're probably the best person to answer this one, aren't you?
Well,
the network is still there, isn't it? It's just taking away the bricks and mortar, isn't it? And kind of moving it digitally.
Yeah. And maybe for some people, they'll find that easier, you know, sitting behind the laptop than, because I know some people may struggle with networking events face to face.
Yeah, I've had my struggles.
Yeah. You know, it's not easy for everyone, but maybe this is a good lead in now and using those opportunities. Social media is key. How important has social media been in your business?
Very much so. So recently I braved starting a bit of video marketing. So this has been quite a recent thing for me. And I just saw other people doing it. And obviously my niche in recruitment is marketing. And I was like, Lauren, you have to go with the trends. Yeah. I faced the fear, and I've seen really good returns from doing that and building like a bit of a community and getting people to talk. So that's been very useful. I think just kind of being accessible on most platforms, because there are different people with different preferences. Some people might really like LinkedIn. Other people might like Twitter, Instagram, you know, it's preference. But if you can but I do think you need to target what you're saying to the audience. So, you know, Instagram would be a different kind of a language to perhaps LinkedIn, which is a little bit more professional. Yeah. So.
Yeah, exactly. You've got to know the audience, what you need to say to them. And you said there, you had to follow the trend. You know, you said, oh, Lauren, everyone's doing videos, do that. And how important, tell us a bit more about how important that is, you know, knowing your industry that you're going into and following there.
Yeah, very. I think you have to kind of be almost like one step ahead. So for me, this Vbook is actually a very new trend. There's a lot of ebooks on the market, but you will find very few Vbooks with video content. So I'm trying to kind of get in there and claim the actual name Vbook before it kind of goes to market. So yeah, it's just being kind of wise and in following where the crowd is really, but also not going with the crowd all the time, because you might get lost in it, but you know, being different.
Yeah, because I think you can, follow the crowd in terms of seeing what's happening, seeing what the trends are, and what can you do differently. So you said there about the Vbooks. Okay, there are loads of Vbooks. Okay, I'm going to go do the Vbook. So what do you do and turn it, and what can you build out of that? I think that's really, that's really key. So tell us, Lauren, 3 pieces of advice for a woman who is listening, watching, who wants to start a business, but maybe doesn't have the confidence yet, just hasn't done it. What would you say? 3 pieces of advice.
Firstly, I think it's great what you do. Empowering other people, women, to do this is really notable. So well done.
Thank you.
For me, I think you some people call it intuition, gut feeling, God. Listen to it. You know, in a world that's full of noise and cultural trends of what we should be doing, listen to that inner voice, because if you follow it, a path might kind of come your way that you would have never expected. So that was my first thing. 2, I'm going to say pray, have faith. Once you have faith, I believe that anything is possible. If you try and figure something out too much with logic, you won't get to the next level, because you'll be thinking, oh, where am I going to find the resources? How am I going to know how to do this? So it would be to have a mindset more of faith. And then 3rd one, just talk to different people, ask people questions, maybe go to somebody that's in your industry that has done what you want to do, and just, people are always willing to have a conversation and just say, how did you do this? How did you get there? And the right people will gravitate into your life.
Yeah, I think so. Sometimes we're sort of scared or a bit apprehensive of speaking to people for fear of they might not want to speak or something. But you don't know unless you put yourself out, unless you ask the question, unless you try. And you'd be surprised to see how willing people are to help, actually. Not everyone, we know that, but there are will. Keep asking the question, keep putting yourself out there, and you will find, definitely, I definitely believe that. So Lauren, thank you so much. Before you let you go, how can people connect with you? So, what's your email address or website? How can people connect with you?
Personally, given this sector that you're in, I'd love for people to support the new venture. It is free as well. So they can go onto the website, which is Vbooks with a Z.org, and download the first topic for free. And then if they'd like to email me, it's lauren@vbooks.org, or connect with me on LinkedIn, Lauren Valler. I would absolutely love to. And I'm happy to chat as well. Do you know what I mean? With anybody that wants to talk or anything like that. So.
Oh, brilliant. No, thank you so much, Laura, for your time. Great advice as always. And just good luck with everything. I know I can tell it's going to be great. The passion behind it with Vbooks and obviously your recruitment business as well. So thank you so much for your time today, Lauren.
Bless you so much.
Thank you for listening to Ideas to Implementation. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe so you never miss an episode. Until next time.